This episode started out with me seeing a One Piece poster in the subway. This bodes well for me. Let's go. So, what's up guys, TheInsaneGamefreak here to bring you Bakuman episode 17 review. I actually like this episode. This became one of my new favorite episodes. Like, this is probably like my third favorite episode right now. Don't mind the beeping, that was Facebook. We're introduced to Fukuda and Nakai, or Naki, or Nakai. I think it's like Nakai. So Nakai, I think is how you pronounce it. We're introduced to those two characters, and I have to say, Fukuda is the one I like. Fukuda is the one I like. But anyways, let's get into this whole episode review. Pretty much the episode starts out where Mashiro gets off the subway and makes his way to Nizuma's house, and that's where everything is explained. That's really where most of the episode takes place. Remember, the beginning of the episode is introducing you to Nakai and Fukuda and Nizuma's style of doing shit. And pretty much Fukuda apparently has gone for the Tezuka Award twice and has not beat Nizuma yet, but has the same editor that he does, who I think his name is Yujiro. Yeah, Yujiro. And Nakai is like 33. Who has been an assistant for the majority of his life, but wants to be a manga artist. Technically, Mashiro already beat. Shuji and Mashiro already beat Fukuda in next because he came in 5th when they came in 3rd. So he's getting up there. So pretty much the majority of the episode actually is just like them talking and how Fukuda makes fun of Nakai because he's 33 and he hasn't even been serialized yet, and the last time he won an award was like a decade ago, and it was funny as hell to me. Whereas fucking Psycho tries to learn from Nizuma while he's working and shit. And I actually gained more respect for Nizuma in this episode too. So pretty much they're talking and they're reading, and you get used to his style and shit. And this is where they start talking about their chapters and shit, because Fukuda and Nakai realize that apparently Nizuma and Psycho know each other and shit. So pretty much after he explains what Shujin's doing, they even cut the Shujin for like maybe 10 seconds where Shujin's like writing while Kai is with him and shit, and he's like, well, I wonder if he took the job, because apparently Psycho never told him if he took the job or not. And he's like, I'm working on being a writer, and he's like, well, I'd rather him be doing something than for him to just be waiting on me and shit. Then it cuts back over, and the rest of the episode, it's kind of like them talking, and then they realize that the Crow's popularity kind of shot down. Like, its first chapter was #1, its second chapter I think was 4th, and its third chapter we don't find out until the end of the episode, but to that knowledge I only know the second chapter dropped down to 4th. Then they heard that the third chapter goes back up to third place, but they don't find out until the end of the chapter. So they're worrying about it, and their reading is like, well, 3, 4, and 5 is good, and Fukuda's like, no, they're not good, and he's gonna lose popularity if he keeps doing that shit. And they're like, well, and he's like explaining how, and we find out the problem with Nizuma's style of drawing. He's great artistically, but his story doesn't grab you, and that's what Fukuda was mentioning, that he has a very interesting and unique style of drawing. And that's what catches the reader's eye, like first glance. Like, it's like the way Nizuma draws. You can catch it on the first glance, kind of shit. Like, it's one that, you know how like Naruto appeals to a lot of kids because they like ninjas. It's like that. It has something to draw you to it right as you see it. There is no like you got to get into the story like with One Piece. One Piece you got to get into the story. Naruto just grabs you right off the bat. That's how Nizuma's style is. He grabs you when you first fucking read it. The problem with the style is that there's no depth within Nizuma's story. And that's where his shit starts fucking up. So they get him to write a name. They get him to go to meetings and shit. I mean, these are things that he's explaining to them and things he should do, Fukuda is. And Fukuda and Mashiro decide, well, Mashiro wants to work on Chapter 5 and see if he can make Chapter 5 better, because that's the one he's currently writing. And Fukuda's like, I'm not helping my fucking rival. And then, you know, he helps his fucking rival. So, yeah. And pretty much, he even does the cool thing, like, he's even like, well, It's like, well, it'd be kind of lame if my rival failed so quickly. There wouldn't be any pleasure in beating you in that case. So pretty much they're talking and shit, and they're writing, and they're trying to explain to him what would make his shit more interesting. It's because the thing is that he has that draw in, but he can't keep the reader, so he thinks he should add in some more, like, some slight cliches so the readers have something to relate to. Because people like to say cliches are bad, but the truth is, in cliches helps the manga be more relatable to the reader. They kept giving them tidbits like how you're supposed to help, like, get the reader more involved into the story. Think more of what the reader would like than what would you like, and always constantly be thinking about the story and developing it. So you honestly, like, and create a villain, create a cliffhanger at the end of it. Like, they were going through all the bases of a manga, and I'm like, almost every popular manga has this, except for Bleach, because Bleach is fucking retarded. Right now it's fucking retarded. Dollhouses, really? I'm sorry, I'm about to go on a Bleach rant. Anyways, they spend that day working. Fukuda has to leave because he has a second job where he works at a convenience store, and then he does the assistant thing. So he left, and Nizuma went to go work on doing a name and then rewriting it. The problem is that Psycho went there to learn something from him. The problem is the way he writes and his style is so quick, he can't really gather the way he does things. So it's weird for him, and that explains why he's a fucking genius. So Nizuma's rewriting chapter 5. They don't have anything to do. So pretty much fucking Nakai and Psycho go out to get something to eat, and then they spend the night. Nakai eats a lot, but you can kind of tell the way he looks. And you get this little really deep moment with Nakai, because Nakai, Psycho walks in there to go to sleep, and Nakai's already in there crying, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, because he cries, because he's like, I want to get serialized. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I know how you feel. And he's like, well, that doesn't really make it feel any better. And he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I spent my entire life, I want to get serialized, I want to become a manga artist, but I spent my entire life just going from assistant job and assistant job, and now I'm 33. What the fuck am I doing? And he's like, Psycho, no matter what, don't give up on your dream, and don't keep doing assistant job after assistant job, or else you'll never accomplish your dream. And then they go to sleep, they wake up, and this ass is about done. It's ridiculous how much he's, like, finished doing shit. So it's like, Nakai's like, oh, we got real work to do, we gotta work on those backgrounds, and Nakai is really good at doing backgrounds. And there's even a joke where he's like, I'm the dude who does, like, the best backgrounds and such and such. And Fukuda is like, there's nothing to be proud of when you're trying to get serialized. So I thought that was pretty cool. So pretty much they're working on the backgrounds, and then Yujiro comes in to pick up the chapters, and they have their little growing up, like, conversation, because Yujiro's actually Fukuda's editor too, which I think is really funny. And pretty much he gives like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm already writing chapter 5. And he's like, wow. And he's like, oh, congratulations. What? Your chapter 3 got into, yeah, chapter 3 was 3rd place. It was better than chapter 2. It was like, woo. And pretty much then Nizuma goes in to tell him that he'll start writing names more, and that he'll get more into the meetings and shit that he needs to have with his editor to know whether his shit is bad or good or not. And he's like, well, I think what it was is everyone kept calling me a genius, so it just got to my head, and I gained somewhat of an ego, which is understandable. And it makes sense. And so pretty much from that, I think that's about how the episode ends pretty much, is that in Psycho, no, the episode ends with Psycho going, I haven't learned anything yet. I ended up helping my rival. Before I leave here, I will help something that will benefit me and Shujin. And that's how the episode ends. And personally, I like this episode. I like Fukuda. Nikaki kind of comes off as a little sad, but he becomes somewhat of an inspirational character. As far as side characters go, Fukuda. It's like Shujin, Fukuda, Psycho, Nizuma. That's how it works. Nizuma's still cool. I like him, but I don't like him more than Psycho. I'm sorry. Fukuda, now take that back. I'll say Shujin, Psycho, Fukuda, Nizuma. That's how it's gonna go. That's how it's gonna go. Shujin's my favorite. Psycho's my second favorite. Fukuda's just beat Nizuma. I don't know why, he's fucking cool. He's gonna be the thumbnail because he's cool. And Nizuma gained more respect for me. So right now, that's male character design. If I wanted to do all characters, it'd be like Shujin, Kaya, Psycho, Probably Fukuda, Azuki, and then Nizuma. No. Azuki's kind of low on the list. But anyway, I'm going off of on a little tangent here. But anyways, tell me what you guys thought about the episode in the comment section below. What do you think about Fukuda and Nakai and shit? How you liking Nizuma's character development? Just throw in what you want to talk about in the comment section and let's talk about it. Yeah. But anyways, that is my review for Bakuman episode 17. Life is a gameplay to win. Keep on drawing. And I will catch you guys later. Keep on drawing.